All right, listen close, because this story, it's for you. You, who felt that sting of being unseen, unheard, maybe even betrayed. Ever walked into a place you thought you knew, and felt invisible, like you didn't belong? That fear, that gnawing suspicion that maybe, just maybe, things aren't as they seem? That's what we're diving into today. You know that feeling, right? That deep down ache when you're hoping for a little kindness, a little help, and you get nothing? Just a cold shoulder? Press that like button if you've ever felt that. It helps us know we're not alone. And tell me where you're watching from. Drop it in the comments. We want to know our reach, to know you're out there listening. Now, imagine this. A black CEO, a man who built his business from the ground up, walks into one of his own stores, undercover. He's not looking for trouble. He's just checking, seeing things from a customer's eyes. But what he finds, it shocks him. It breaks him. A simple request for help met with a flat, cold refusal, a wall of indifference. Why? What could possibly lead someone to turn away a customer, especially someone who clearly needed assistance? Let's dive in, shall we? This is about a man named Jackson. Jackson, a man with a quiet strength, a gentle spirit, and a brilliant mind. He owned a chain of stores called Urban Bloom, places that sold plants unique gifts and a sense of calm. He built it brick by brick, from a small stall to a growing empire. But Jackson, despite his success, always remembered where he came from. He remembered the feeling of being overlooked, of being judged. So he made it his mission to create spaces where everyone felt welcome. One day, Jackson decided to do a little undercover work. He wanted to see how his stores were really operating, how his employees treated customers when he wasn't around. He put on a simple jacket, a worn cap, and some old jeans, and walked into a store on Elm Street. He looked like any other customer, maybe a little tired, a little lost. He wandered around, taking it all in, the soft music, the vibrant green of the plants, the smell of fresh earth. It was everything he'd envisioned. But then he saw a young woman, a customer, looking confused, holding a small potted plant. He walked over, hoping to help. "Excuse me," he said, his voice soft. "Do you need some help?" The woman, a young lady named Aria, looked relieved. "Yes, I'm not sure what kind of plant this is, or how to take care of it." Just then, an employee, a young man named Zane, walked by. Jackson, hoping to see his employee step up, smiled. "Maybe this gentleman can help you?" Zane glanced at Jackson. A flicker of something, maybe dismissal, maybe disdain, crossed his face. He looked at Aria, then back at Jackson. "I'm busy right now," he said, his voice flat. He turned and walked away. Jackson felt a coldness spread through him. Busy? Too busy to help a customer? He watched Aria's face fall, a mix of confusion and embarrassment. He stepped forward. "I can help you," he said, his voice gentle. He spent the next few minutes explaining the plant, its needs, its care. Aria thanked him, her smile genuine. Jackson watched Zane, who was now leaning against a counter, scrolling on his phone. He walked over. "Zane," he said, his voice low, "I'm Jackson. I own this store." Zane's eyes widened, a look of shock and fear replacing his indifference. "Mr. Jackson, I didn't know." "You didn't know," Jackson repeated, his voice calm, but with an underlying edge. "You didn't know to help a customer? You didn't know to treat everyone with respect." Zane stammered, trying to explain, but Jackson cut him off. "It's not about knowing me, Zane. It's about doing your job. It's about treating people like they matter." He walked away, his heart heavy. He felt a deep sadness, a sense of betrayal. He'd built this place on kindness, on community. And here was someone, one of his own people, failing to uphold those values. He spent the rest of the day observing. He saw other employees, some kind, some indifferent. He saw customers, some happy, some frustrated. He saw the cracks in his carefully built world. That night, Jackson couldn't sleep. He kept replaying the day, the look on Aria's face, the coldness in Zane's eyes. He felt a deep sense of responsibility, a need to fix things. The next day, he called a meeting. He gathered his employees, all of them, in the back room. He looked at them, his face serious. "I walked into our store yesterday," he said, his voice quiet. "I saw things that broke my heart. I saw people being ignored, people being dismissed. I saw a lack of kindness." He paused, letting his words sink in. "We are not just selling plants and gifts. We are selling a feeling of belonging, of being seen, of being valued. And some of you are failing to deliver that." He spoke about the importance of empathy, of kindness, of treating everyone with respect, regardless of who they were or how they looked. He spoke about his own experiences, about the pain of being overlooked. "I built this place on the idea that everyone deserves a little bloom in their lives," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "And I will not allow anyone to destroy that." He introduced a new training program, focused on customer service, empathy, and respect. He made it clear that anyone who couldn't uphold those values would have to find another job. But he also offered a chance for redemption. He spoke to Zane, not with anger, but with understanding. He told him about his own struggles, about the times he'd made mistakes. "Everyone deserves a second chance," he said. "But you have to earn it. You have to prove that you can be better." Zane, his eyes filled with remorse, nodded. He apologized to Arya and to Jackson and promised to do better. Over the next few weeks, Jackson watched his employees. He saw them change, grow, and learn. He saw them treat customers with kindness, with respect. He saw the store become a place of warmth and welcome. But the story has another layer, a dark secret that Jackson had to uncover. During his undercover visit, he noticed some discrepancies in inventory. Items were missing, and the numbers didn't add up. He had to uncover the truth. Who was stealing from him? He had to know. The suspicion gnawed at him. He knew that someone was betraying him. He installed hidden cameras and kept a close eye on the records. Days turned into nights, and the truth began to unfold. He discovered that a trusted manager, a woman named Corinne, was behind the theft. She was siphoning off profits and manipulating the inventory. The discovery hit him hard. Corinne was someone he trusted, someone he considered a friend. The betrayal cut deep. He confronted her, not with anger, but with sorrow. "Corinne," he said, his voice filled with sadness. "Why?" She broke down, confessing her actions, explaining her desperate need for money. Jackson, despite his pain, offered her a chance to make amends. He gave her a loan to pay off her debts and help her find a new job. But he also made it clear that trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Jackson learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes, the people you trust the most can hurt you the most. But even in the face of betrayal, kindness and understanding can lead to healing. He learned that true leadership isn't just about building a business. It's about building a community, a place where everyone feels valued, seen, and heard. And that, my friends, is what truly matters. Never underestimate the power of kindness, and never forget that everyone deserves a little bloom in their lives.